Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Offside Rule, hosted by myself, Yannicka, and joined by my lovely ladies, Joyce and Shell. My internet's a little bit dodgy today, so don't watch that. But yeah, tonight we're going to just touch on the Champions League. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've just clicked on the link, please like the video, share it across your socials. Anything else. But yeah, big up to Indiana in the comments. He says, smash that like button when you get in, people. Valvishwan also says, rest in peace, Jose Becker. So rest in peace.
That's so sad.
Honestly.
I know.
So have you seen? Can we just talk about the trolls at the minute? That like the trolls that have been trolling Alisson, like they've been saying awful. They were like, "You're a goalkeeper and you can't even save your own dad." Like, how awful is that? Like, I've seen this, and I'm literally like, I'm like, how can you call yourself a Liverpool fan when you're saying shit like that? Like, it's disgusting.
Even non-Liverpool fans,
like, literally
just trolling
anybody.
I just think it's mad that people, as soon as they've got a bit of anonymity.
Yeah. Anybody that loses a parent should be respected, and like you should want to help them or like message them, being like, I'm here if you want to chat. Especially in a time like this, like it's COVID as well. Like he won't even be able to attend the funeral of his own dad.
It's just, I think it's just, people are just weird. Like, I just don't, I'm not a Liverpool fan at all. Do you know what I mean? I don't particularly, I wouldn't say I dislike Alisson, but I don't particularly like him. But why would that come into your head? Do you know what I mean? Like, at best, I would message him saying, oh, sorry for your loss. Obviously, I don't know him. So I just kind of tweeted about it, like how sad it was on my own, because I don't know him to be acting. But it's just, I don't know, it's just madness. I don't know why people, when they hear someone's died, their brain doesn't just go to, sorry for your loss, condolences. Like, it's just weird. It's really strange. Really, really strange. Daniel says, big up the ladies and rest in peace, Jose Becker. Daniel said it was a United fan, Charlotte.
No, there was like Liverpool fans too, mate.
There'll be loads of people. It's like someone said, like when Fergie dies, like the timeline is going to be crazy, and people are saying like, I'm not coming online because like it's going to be so disrespectful. It is. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
All thoughts and prayers go out for Alisson and his family. Trolls are on one lately, disgusting comments going around. It's just
that.
Whatever you think, it can't get worse, it gets worse. Like the next day, it's just madness. Valvashan says, social media are full of toxic people. Fake fans, get out of my club. Do you know what? Like, it's just people are just weird. That's the way I see it. Like, people are actually just weird. Because to me, anything like that wouldn't come into my head. So you've got to be a little bit.
Yeah,
you've got to be a little bit wrong to even think that. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's weird to me. But anyway, we'll get on to the Champions League now. So, you know what? Considering I'm joined by two Chelsea fans, we will start with. I'd say it was probably quite surprising. Not surprising in that you won, because I thought you had a chance. But yeah, I just thought the game didn't go how I thought it was going to go. Like me personally, watching as a neutral, I thought Chelsea were really good. Solid defensively, good going forward, decent going forward. Obviously, could have been better in some ways. And Atletico Madrid weren't great. As well as you played, they weren't great. I expected to see a little bit more of a fight from them, to be honest. Considering, you don't want the opposition to get an away goal. So I thought they would have literally either parked the bus, which they tried to do, to be fair, and then when they conceded, I thought they would then go for it to get a goal, but they just didn't. So maybe they're happy with a 1-0 for the second leg, but I just don't think they've put themselves in a position to get through, to be honest. And I think it's well in Chelsea's hands now. But yeah, what did
I
you ladies
agree.
think?
I'm not even. This is the first time I'm happy talking about a game. I've never been happier talking about a game. Can we just talk? Giroud against.
I love
Beautiful goal.
Joyce knows that I've gassed up Oblak and I've wanted him for so long. Like everyone knows this. Giroud's slow motion goal. It's just like it was in slow mo. I was like watching an action film in slow mo. I was like, yes, Giroud. And I was like, and then it went offside, and there was all this like shit with the offside. And I was like, you can't rule out this type of goal. Like this type of goal is beautiful. Like you're not gonna see this again for a while. Like that kind of goal, like this, like beautiful. Christensen actually turned up. I mean, congratulations for doing your job, but I'll give you praise because like you did your job and I was happy, so I'm keeping it that way. Do you know what? There was three things I wasn't happy with in the game, and it's not actually anything to do with the actual football itself. The first one is the Luis Suarez Rudiger incident. Is that no one saw, but when you pause it back, Suarez pinched Rudiger in the back of his knee, which is why the incident escalated. So that annoyed me a little bit because everyone tried to blame Rudiger, but if you look it back and like they enlarged it, you can see him pinching the back of his knee. For me, I've always said Giroud's a super sub. He did us fabulous in the Europa League, and so I'm pleased with that. There's just two more incidents I'm not happy with. I need Jorginho next week. I need Jorginho in the second leg. What does he do? Go get a yellow card. I can't have Kante and Kovacic. The last time that happened, West Brom 3-0. We lost to them. I can't deal with this. I needed Jorginho. However much I think he's like he can go somewhere else and succeed even more. Like him and Kovacic have been one of our midfield best partnership. We needed him. We actually needed him. Like we need him in like. And I think that's an issue for us now is that we've lost Mason Mount and we've lost Jorginho. But apart from that, I was so happy. I was panicking. I saw them bring Ziyech and Pulisic on, and I was panicking. Ziyech didn't do a bad job. I'm gonna give him credit. Ziyech did not do a bad job. I didn't know Pulisic was on the pitch, but he didn't do anything wrong either. So I'm gonna take that. Like, didn't know he was on the pitch, so that's good enough for me. Werner made some very good runs, but apart from that, it was a little bit dead from him. Hudson-Odoi was beautifully making those. He really wanted something, you know. Kovacic was like, it was just all round beautiful. Like I can't even. But like I feel like people have been telling me for weeks that that this is what Tuchel's been like tactically planning for. And I was, and they were right. I was wrong. I hold my hands up. Doesn't excuse how poor we've played in the last against Southampton, but I'm happy with this. I can't even complain. The smile on my face when that goal went in, man, I could have lit up the whole world with my smile and happiness. Like I was buzzing. I was like, just let someone put a light bulb in me. I'll light the whole world. I'll just be the sunshine for the day. I was that excited. I mean, I'm not. Just to clarify, Indiana, on this comment, I'm not Timo Werner's biggest fan, and everyone knows that. I would prefer Giroud, in personal opinion. I've said that, but I think for me, after this goal, Giroud deserves a start in the next Champions League game and in the next Man United game. I think a lot of people earned their start in the next game. I think a lot of people didn't. Not talking about the starting 11. I'm just talking about Pulisic. That's about it. That's it. I haven't got any complaints. If I'm really honest, defence. Christensen had Suarez in his pocket. I'm sorry. Felix and Suarez who? João Felix? Luis Suarez who? Like, who are you? My team had you in their pockets. Pat down. I was buzzing. I was actually really happy, you know. I can't complain. Solid performance from my team, and we fucking nailed it. I'm not even gonna deny that. We fucking
you know what? like, I actually love Giroud. And I was saying, like, when we played Chelsea, I was like, why would you not play Giroud? Like, against Man City, he would score because he's tall and we're short.
I said this.
But, you know, it's a bit weird.
Do you know what? Giroud is good as experience, and he can come on and he does this. For me personally, Giroud should be starting against Man United at the weekend.
Oh yeah.
I think
he would be your biggest threat against Man United. Definitely.
He's earned it as well. He's earned it. Timo Werner hasn't. Like Werner hasn't. But if
he'll
you're
still
looking,
start.
No. But if you're looking at the difference between Giroud playing and Werner playing, and you look at the difference, like Giroud is the reason that we are 1-0 up.
Yeah.
Werner, what's his reason for actually the reason we're being 1-0 up? I'm still waiting for that reason. Someone give me a reason why Werner should start against Man United, because I don't have one, and my brain can't think of that. But yeah, overall, I was buzzing with that game. I was so happy.
Big up to Gem in the comments. Joyce, what was your take on the game?
Oh, do you know what? I feel like whenever anyone asks me this, I feel like I sound so negative, right? I was happy, like, knockout football, like, there's just something about knockout football that's just like your heart's just like beating really fast. Like, I was just sitting there in front of my little, like, my screen just like shaking, like, but I don't think it was like that. If we're just talking about like a performance, I don't think it was an amazing performance. I think the first kind of 20 minutes really, really stressed me out because we were very like unsettled. You know, like within like a minute, Mount gets a yellow card. Rudiger and Alonso, God only knows what was happening over there. We almost concede really, really early on. So like, I don't know if the nerves of the occasion like, maybe got to us.
We didn't.
But we didn't. Yeah, which was really good. But so like that first 20 minutes was like quite shaky. I think we really grew into the game. Atletico were horrible. They were so horrid. Like, I know that they are defensive, but you would think if you were the favourites in a tie, and Atletico were the favourites in the tie, like, let's be honest, when it came out, everyone was like, yeah, Atletico are going to beat Chelsea, like, for the most part. And for them to just sit there, like, just 6 people just like sitting in the back, I just thought that was so embarrassing. Like, not embarrassing because it's expected of Atletico, but they didn't really impose there was no game to impose on us at all. We had all of the ball. Maybe that's what Simeone wanted, and they wanted to break and counter, but they couldn't do it because Christensen, you know, he had a really good game. Mount, I think our second half was a lot better than our first half. I think the first half, like, we were over hitting like a lot of passes. You know, like the through balls just weren't, like, things just weren't coming off for us. But I'm really impressed mostly by our defensive performance. I think we did well to kind of, when the threats did come, I think we handled them quite well. Even though, you know, Felix was really quiet, Suarez didn't have too many chances. Lamar, oh my God, he was horrible. He was so bad. He had that one kind of like
Lamar who?
chance, and then Hudson-Odoi just like clamped him down. He's like, no, you're this is not happening. So it wasn't the most exciting game to watch, but we did what we had to do, and especially considering loads of people had us down and out before the game even started. I'm proud of our team for kind of, you know, getting the win, getting the clean sheet, getting the away goal. Like, can't ask for too much more than that.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, Joyce. Like, we do have to, like, because I brought up the negatives yesterday and I got absolutely like bollocks for it. So I was like, I'm going to come in all positive. Joyce has done my job for me. Firstly, we owned their left side in their first half. Their left side, we owned it. Second half, we owned their right side. My problem is like, I get we had a shaky 20-minute start. I get what Joyce means. That I drank 3/4 of a bottle of wine in the first 20 minutes. Like, that's how bad it got. Just to clarify that one. But all I'm saying is, like, when you're going against Atletico Madrid, I get the shaky start, like, because you don't know how they're going to come at you. But yeah, I mean, not taking Lamar off was probably the stupidest mistake he made. But I mean, I was happy. I had Kendall on my stream and I was buzzing. I was like, yes, thank you. And I invited Kendall on because I was like, you're gonna win, like, you're gonna have like your team winning, like, it's gonna be amazing. And then what do we go and do? Yeah, we turned up. We turned up. Yeah, we turned up. Like that goal. Like Joyce, tell me you love that goal just as much as
Oh
I did.
no, I did. I really love that goal. Like the thing is, like the one thing I don't like about VAR, and I'm sure it's like way worse in stadiums, is like you celebrate a goal, then you take back your celebration, then you have to celebrate again, and then by the time I celebrated the second time, obviously I was just so happy and so relieved that we had got the goal because for the most part, even though we were kind of the better team and we had kind of imposed our game, we didn't have much of a goal threat, and then that just coming out of nowhere, I was like, because it was more relief than celebration. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it took 6 minutes to decide if it was a goal or not.
Mm.
Now, and that is my problem. 6 minutes is a long time. 6 minutes was enough for me to finish the bottle of wine and on to the next. Let me tell you that one. Like, I was not playing. Like, I think for me, like, it's frustrating, especially if you're like when you go back to the matches and you're actually in the stadium itself. That frustrates me more. Like, if a goal like that, if people had been there and a goal like that, and people would have cheered, and then it all goes to a standstill and you're like, oh, VAR's happening, and then you're like, shit, have I just celebrated for no reason? And then you take it back, and then finally the goal's given. It's like, ugh. But I'm like, VAR takes the fun out of celebrating for me personally, especially when you're at a match, like actually watching.
Yeah, I was there for that. Well, I'm always there in the Champions League, but when they ruled out Sterling's goal,
that must have been horrible.
Honestly, that was some long time. We celebrated the goal, we stopped celebrating, and then it got ruled out. Like, yeah, it's a no from me. I don't like VAR because in the studio, they don't even tell you if they're using VAR. It just comes up on the screen after you've celebrated your goal. And then they don't even tell you what it was. They don't show you a replay. At least on the TV, you can see what's going on. So I don't like that.
I feel like we've all got so used to like being able to see like VAR like on TV that like I feel like they need to do that at the actual stadium. Like I feel like they should show like the VAR going over it, or like, you know, when they're drawing the lines and that, they should have that on the screen, so at least we know if it's a player's offsides, B, a handball. Like, I need to know these things, you know. I can't sit in a match with like, I'm probably already drunk already, like, you know, like, I'm not even going to deny this. I probably am a little bit tipsy. Like, I don't need to be sitting there like,
It's dumb. It's so dumb. It's like when I'm at football, you'll get like a VAR decision, and then somebody will be like, "Oh yeah, my friend texted me and told me it's offside." Like, you shouldn't need to get a text from a friend sat at home in the lounge to tell you what was happening when they could just show it. It's just, I don't know. It's a mess.
But that's my point. Like, they need to show something on the screen.
Yeah. Because then,
or even if they announce on the screen, VAR is checking the goal for handball or offside. That would be like, if that came up straight away, then no one would get excited or practice celebrating. At least we know where we stood. But when they don't do that and you're just sat there waiting, and sometimes, like, we've known VAR to go on for like 9 minutes. 9 minutes. I can't do 9 minutes. And my patience span is about 30 seconds.
Well, that's why, like, because it will say, like, VAR, it doesn't, you celebrate the goal, it'll say goal scored by blah, blah, blah. Then it'll come up saying VAR checking, goal, penalty, possible penalty, whatever it says. And then there's just nothing after that. And like I say, like, it's just one of them things where if they showed a clip, they show it on the TV. There's no reason why they can't show it in the stadium. Just show it on the clip. Most football fans are reasonable enough to go, okay, fair enough. That looked offside, or oh, it's tight. You know, they're not going to like kick off. So it's more annoying when you don't know and you feel like you've been robbed because, and then the referee's going to get more abuse because fans are going to be like, the referee's blind, when it might be a clear offside. You know, it might actually be quite clear. And yeah, I think they just cause more hassle for themselves, not including the fans in the decisions. So I don't know, but hopefully, I just think it takes away from. I definitely don't celebrate how I used to. Like, I just don't. Imagine that Aguero goal to win us the title with VAR.
Gosh, yeah.
We'd be waiting to see whether it was a goal and whether we've won the league. Like, it's just, nah. I'm glad that it was not around them. But yeah, I think in terms of Chelsea, what do you think for the second leg? Obviously, you are at home. You've got a goal advantage. I don't know whether to do like a score prediction or just whether you think you'll go through. Don't know.
Let me tell you now. If we mess this up now, I am going to absolutely quit football. I'm telling you now. Well, no. We got an away goal.
Sure.
And we want to just drop it all away. I'm sorry, Tuchel, if you don't turn up on your team. I want to see defence. I want to see a 4 and a 4 and a 2 up front. I literally want to see a 4-4-2. I want to see us defend in our midfield and defend so badly they can't get through. I want it to be like the wall of China. I don't want anybody coming past it. Like, no one's getting over it. Like, I'm sorry, no. Like, it's for real though. It is ours to lose. Like, we've got the away goal. It's ours to lose now. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult without Jorginho for me personally. I don't know how you kind of work around that. Mount also quite consistent. I mean, he didn't have a good game. For me personally, it wasn't the best game Mount's had.
I thought he did.
Like, no, he had, like, for me, it was just like the silly passes. Like, it's the first half that kind of ruined it for me. It was like him getting into the game and he was just making silly passes, like, and silly tackles that didn't need to be done. The second half, he was reasonable. Like, I can't complain. His consistency went fine. But the first half for me kind of ruined it because he was making silly tackles that didn't need to be done. I was like, Han, I just want you to be Tin Man and I'm not going to oil you. So you just be Tin Man so you can't move. Like, please. I just, like, it frustrated me that he was making all these silly tackles. Like, and I'm not just saying him, like, it just Jorginho did as well. That's why they both got yellows. But I don't know. I don't know how we kind of work it. I don't know if we do a 4-4-2 and just defend the shit out of our goal. I don't want to see Kepa anywhere near my goal. Let me tell you that one now. If I see Kepa in that goal, I know you might as well just hand them the bloody win. But also, I feel like they've got something to prove coming to us, but we should have something to defend. We have that away goal, and we should be defending that.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think, like, because I know people were saying, like, Felix, I don't really watch Atletico too much, but I know he's a fantastic player. They were saying that he's had COVID, and apparently he's a little bit out of it at the moment, so he might turn up in the second leg, but like you say, it's yours to defend. So I'd say you probably need another goal just in case there's like a last minute corner or something. So
I'm happy for another 2 goals. I need another 2 goals just to be safe. So we're like 3-1 is good for me. I don't know. I worry about this because I feel like our midfield isn't going to be as solid, and I think that's a worry for me because, like, however much I can diss Jorginho, him and Kovacic have the best partnership.
Yeah,
like they genuinely do, and I feel like Kante and Kovacic, there's nothing special with it, and there's like at least with Jorginho, Kovacic can push up, like he can. He can't, like, he can find that space and go forward. He can't do that with Kante. Like, they're both kind of the same player. They want to go up. And whereas Jorginho holds the ball, like, and then Kovacic can go up. I just think that I don't see a solution. I don't know. Like, obviously, it is going to be Kante, and obviously, we're going to have to look at bringing Havertz in as well because we don't really have a choice now. Thanks, Mount, for that. Appreciate that. Like, really appreciate that we have to bring Kante and Havertz in. Not because they're not good players, but partnerships are better with other players, and we have our good partnerships. The only positive I can see out of this is Thiago Silva might be back. Lord praise Jesus that he is. I pray. I'm praying every day. I am praying every day. I do not believe in Jesus, but I'm praying every day. I'm telling you now, I'm praying. I'm like, dear Jesus, please, I need Thiago Silva fit, because then at least that's something to boost our defense. Like, if we need it, we have that kind of backup if we need it, or we're struggling. If they get a goal at half time, we can bang Thiago Silva on and be like, haha, suck on that.
Big up to Dupe, who says Diego Simeone masterclass in comment. Do you know what?
That should have been his place.
Like, I just don't get what he was trying to do, because like I understand the whole defending thing. I get that your players aren't in the best form or whatever. Maybe just try and get a 0-0. It's kind of his performance kind of reminded me of Pep when he went to Tottenham and tried to play for a draw, and it just failed, and we ended up losing 1-0. And then the second leg, it's like we're already behind, and it was a mess. So,
but I think for me, like, Simeone made some really, really interesting calls that for me personally, like, even as a Chelsea fan, when he made his first changes, like, like, Kent was like, do you think he should come off? I was like, I think Lamar should come off. Like, we are literally making a mockery out of him. Like, we genuinely are. Like, and the fact that we're making a mockery of, like, Lamar, like, that's embarrassing, you know. And I'm not even trying to be hot. Like, I'm not saying I have the greatest players in the world. What I'm saying is my team were literally just like wandering past him. Like, for me personally, that would have been my first substitution.
Yeah.
If I was Simeone, and I think that was one of his mistakes.
Yeah.
I do think that they're going to come back with something to prove, though, because they can't sit and defend again because they've got nothing to defend. They have to come out a bit more. They have to be, maybe they'll counter-attack and they'll still have less of the ball because we like to have our possession under Tuchel. But I do think that they will do a bit more. They will be more on the forefront. And they've still got players that can really hurt us. You know, like Luis Suarez is always going to be a threat. João Felix is always going to be a threat. And they're like top of the La Liga for a reason. I think if we just sit and try and defend a 1-0 lead for 90 minutes, that's going to bite us in the arse. I think we should go, especially being at home. I know it doesn't really mean much because we haven't got our fans or anything, but I think being at home, we really should try and push for another couple of goals and not sit and defend it, because that's how I think we'll run into trouble.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move on. We'll start with the second game we'll go to is Mönchengladbach against City. To be honest, I was doing a watch along and I can't watch it deeply when I'm doing a watch along. So what I saw, like, to be honest, like, City in Europe at this stage normally do quite well. It's when we get to the latter stages that we start struggling. I thought City played well. I think they weren't clinical enough, like Pep said. We should have scored more goals. 2-0 is not over, whereas I think 3-0, they're very unlikely to come back. So I think City could have done better, but we did all right. It was a professional performance. We were the better team. And, you know, 2 away goals is always good going into the second leg. So just have to hope we beat them at home now.
I was so shocked that Man City won, you know. Really shocked. Sarcasm, Joy, sarcasm.
I was going to say, I was like, wait, what?
No. I was being sarcastic then, just to clarify. Obviously, Man City were going to win. Obviously, I mean, you should have, I was really hoping my tally was going to be right. I said 8-0 over both legs. You know what? It would have been 4-0 if your team had actually got some more goals, you know, and then I would have been right. Oh no, your team is the reason I don't get to say I told you so. Like, come on, Man City, man. No, great game. I mean, the finishing product was a bit MIA. Like, the 2 goals you got were good. Can't complain, but dude, there should have been 4. There should have been 4.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I think Cancelo is incredible.
Yeah.
I He's just like I don't know if you guys agree but like if he's not like the best fullback, he is like top 3, or even, like if you want to really stretch your top 5, I don't know where you find the other 4, but like he's good on like either flank. He's comfortable on either flank. You can play like inverted, or you can like stretch out, really like stretch out the pitch. Like his crossing, I didn't watch the whole game, and then I watched highlights afterwards, but like his crossing is like immaculate. You guys are just so lucky. Your team is stacked everywhere. I don't think there's a single position where you guys
they're really
are bad.
selfish. It's really selfish, you know, Joy.
Like share.
They don't share. Like it's called sharing and caring. Like it's
Do you know
nice.
what it is with Cancelo? Like I feel like Cancelo is like the perfect player apart from one area. Like a lot of people, you see people on Twitter that clearly don't watch City, and they'll say like, "Oh, his defending ain't all that." Like he doesn't have to do much defending in the City squad anyway. But what he does do is good. The only thing that he has against him right now is finishing, as in his crosses are 10 out of 10, but his actual finishing is not quite there yet. And he's not the only one. The whole team are kind of like that. But yeah, I think if he was more clinical when he has his shot, obviously he shoots from miles out. And he has scored a few goals for us. But yeah, if he like could get it on target every time, like he'd be scoring a whole heap of goals as well. But yeah, he's quality. He's quality. It's just that's the only thing that I say. Like he shoots, and it's like a lot of the time it's not really close, and it's like if you get it more on target, I think and I think he will. I think he will perfect it, and I think he will get better. Which sounds mad. He's already quality,
and it's mad that like we're talking about a fullback, and like that's the area you need him to improve on. Not his crossing. Not the way he overlaps with his players, not the way he defends, not how he is one-on-one, his shooting. Like, that's how great everything else about him is.
Yeah, he's good. Dupe says, Sterling was abysmal. Jesus is not our striker replacement. Do you know what? To be fair, like, Sterling gets... The reason why Pep likes him is because of the runs that he does, the positions he gets into. He creates a lot of chances. And that's what Pep likes about him. His finishing hasn't been great this season. In terms of Gabby, I'd say he scores. He scores in the knockout games. So I can't really fault him too much. But he needs to sort his finishing out as well. He does. All of them. The end product is not great. Dupe says his end product is not the best. Yeah, like I think that's about Cancelo. But that's kind of City all over. Like, we do everything right, but the last action, so whether it's, you know, I think someone was showing like a thread, and it was showing like Sterling when he gets the ball in the final third and how many result in goals and how many don't. And they were saying when he passes it, it's a goal a lot more than when he tries to take the goalkeeper on one-on-one and stuff like that. So, yeah, but I think City, like, we're always going to find goals. Valvishwan says, Yannicka, you're lucky that Florian Neuhaus was poor. Mark my words, he will make Mönchengladbach win 3-0 in the second leg. We played, you said this last time we played, you know, everyone was saying they're going to beat us, blah, 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 blah. Like, they didn't have a shot till the 93rd minute. So, I don't know. Yeah, Edison was bored. Like, the thing is, I'm not saying they're not a quality side, they are, but the thing is with City have just been better than the good side this season. Like,
City have been popping in goals for fun. City haven't, like, this is the problem. Every other team gets goals because they need them to win. Oh, not City. Oh, no, City are just getting them in for fun. Edison's ready to take penalties. Like, the man wants to get on the goal list as well. John Stones, banging in goals. Carl Walker even getting on the goal list. Like, I'm pretty sure by the end of this, I personally believe that, like, Man City next in the second leg are going to come back and, like, just get goals full of galore. Like, I feel like it's not even fair. Like, you guys just get goals for fun. I'm fuming. Like sometimes just don't get goals. Sometimes just be like, you know what? Other teams need to get some goals. Let me lose for a minute. That's what you need to be like. Especially if you could be like that against Chelsea. If you could be like that against Chelsea when we play you, I'm going to appreciate that one.
Do you know what? Like, to be honest, the start of the season, we struggled to score. And then we got back into it and we were scoring a lot of goals. And I think it's just the team are playing so well at the moment. Like, everything's kind of working out. I think City in the Champions League, our main thing has never been, the problem we've had has never been scoring goals. We scored 6 against Monaco. We scored 6 against Tottenham. We scored 4 against Real Madrid. It's never been a problem. It's defensively, we were leaking goals. So this is why we've gone out so much. Like Liverpool, 3-1 in the first leg. You know, it's conceding like 2 or 3 goals in the first leg. You already are at a massive disadvantage. Even if you score like we did with Monaco, even though we scored 5, we conceded 3 away goals. So even though we won, it wasn't good enough. We would have been better off winning 2-0. Do you know what I mean? Rather than winning 5-3 and they get 3 away goals. So I think we're just, this season, I think we're a lot better defensively. And I think this is what is going to help City in the Champions League, because say, for example, we play that game last season. It's 2-1. We concede a goal from a mistake. 2-1. We go into the next leg. We've only got 1 goal advantage. They score early. It's back to 2-2. And it's just like it automatically in the second leg, we're already struggling 20 minutes in when we concede a penalty or a daft goal. Whereas this season, yeah, we didn't score as many as we needed, but we didn't concede any. So it just means when we go into the next leg, if we get a goal, we don't need to do anything else. And City have actually learned how to win 1-0, which we've not been able to do in the past. So yeah, I think City have a good chance this season. Whether we'll go all the way, who knows? But yeah, I think we're definitely gonna do better in terms of leaking goals at the back, and then it's just on the clinicalness going forward. But I think City will be all right at this stage. We'll have to see who we get. Obviously, if we get a Bayern Munich, it's going to be a lot more difficult to keep clean sheets, a lot more difficult to score. So yeah, we'll have to see. Do you guys think City will go through?
Well, this tie, or do you mean like Champions League going?
Yeah, like Mönchengladbach, yeah.
Oh no, I think the tie. Like, I think this. I wouldn't be worried as a City fan, but then I don't feel like you guys ever really have to be worried. It's a really nice life over there, I think. But,
do you know what? Like, City going through to the next round. I just, how is this even I can't even deal
You never
with
know
it.
that anything can happen in football, isn't it?
Yeah, but the likelihood of you going out to them is like so small. I can't even put it on my fingers. It's not even happening.
it's definitely.
I would have preferred a 3-0, because if it was 3-0, I'd be so calm now. I'd be like, yeah, we're through. But 2-0 is always that dodgy score, because if they come out in the first 10 minutes and get a goal, puts the pressure on City, and then they've got the upper hand. So as much as I still don't think we'll concede 3 goals, it's just one of them where it makes it a bit nervy. But we'll move on to some of the other games. We'll just touch on them briefly. So there's Sevilla 2, Dortmund 3. Obviously Sevilla are at home, so it's going to be the next leg's going to be at Dortmund. We'll just basically say who's going to go through, because I didn't watch all these games. So yeah, who do you think will go through out of Sevilla and Dortmund, with Dortmund being at home?
I think Dortmund will go through. I mean, defensively, they've been a bit suspect this season, I guess, but they were really, really good against Sevilla. Because I watched the game, and Haaland was incredible. Like, he really had a shooting. So I think they're kind of like their front three or their attacking players will kind of do enough for them, as long as like defensively they behave themselves. Like, they should be fine. But I guess, like you said, with not, you never know. But I'd bet on Dortmund to go through.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I think Dortmund. Do you know what? I'm just rooting for Dortmund because of Haaland and Sancho, like Chelsea future signings. So, like, for me, the Dortmund play better. They just got a little bit sloppy. So, for me personally, Dortmund. I think if Dortmund gets sloppy again, might be a different story. But if they come up and stay awake the whole 90 minutes like they're supposed to, I don't think they'll have any issues.
Yeah, I think they've got 3 away goals, so I think Dortmund are pretty much through. They just need to make sure, like you say, that they're not sloppy. With Haaland in your team, like, he's so clinical. Like, you only need one chance, and he's buried it. So I know people say he misses chances, but every team misses chances.
Exactly.
He still buries more than everyone else. So yeah, I think I can't see anything other than Dortmund. I know Sevilla are really good in Europe, but that tends to be the Europa League more than the Champions League. If this was Europa League, I'd be saying Sevilla because they do it every time. But I don't think I can't see anything other than Dortmund for that one. The next one we've got is probably the most interesting in terms of the results. Porto 2, Juventus 1. Obviously, Juventus are at home for the next leg. I know what Charles going to say. So, Joyce, who do you see going through?
I don't think you understand how badly I need Porto to go through. Because I like Messi, right? I don't like Barcelona, but I really like Messi. And obviously, Barcelona got hammered quite badly. And if Juventus go through, especially after losing that first leg, it's going to be like, Ronaldo does Messi. And I'm just like, please, I don't want to hear it. Plus, I guess having some weaker opposition makes it easier for the teams that are left. And hopefully we are one of those teams. I don't know. But yeah, I really hope Porto do the job. But I guess, being away might be a bit hard. But I'm back in Porto.
Fair enough. Shal, what are you saying?
I mean, for me personally, I don't think Juve are going to get through. Personally, I've never seen Ronaldo not turn up in a game before. And the only reason that's happening is because Juve have done a Chelsea. They've given their ex-player their dream job. Like, they've made his dream come true, and he's in too deep. This is his first manager. Andrew Pirlo is, for me, he's a legend in my eyes. I love Pirlo. Like, he's great, but like, for me, he's in too deep. He's got players that don't actually see him as a managerial role. He's closer to Ronaldo's age, so like, it's not like there's no respect as a manager because this is his first gig. I don't think he has the tactics personally. But then again, if he doesn't have the tactics and he's ruining Juve, maybe I want them to go through so they're that shit that we can beat them. But on that case, I don't actually want that to happen. Now, obviously, I want Porto to go through. I think Porto have the capacity. They showed more want. I think all they have to do is show more want in the second game and turn up. And I think Porto have a great chance. I think Pirlo's tactics, if they don't change, and if Ronaldo doesn't turn up again, I think it's game over. For me personally, I think Juve should be just focusing on their title, like, and not like that. They shouldn't be focusing on like the Champions League. They should be focusing on Serie A. Like that. That's personally what I believe. Especially when you've got a new manager and you've gone from Maurizio Sarri to Pirlo. I mean, like, I can see Indiana, like, no Pirlo slander. I'm not slandering Pirlo the footballer. I promise you, I'm not slandering Pirlo the footballer. He's still a legend in my eyes. But as a manager, but this is the same thing you have to do with Lampard. You had to separate the managerial career and the football career. And this is Pirlo's first managerial place in a club that's so big with so many big kind of people in it. And that's my point. Like, you've got Ronaldo. He's like the biggest personality ever. He's like got the biggest ego ever.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's struggling to kind of he's struggling to manage that, and I think that's going to be the downfall. And I I don't know how long or how many strings Ronaldo has to kind of pull Pirlo down. I'm assuming it's quite a lot. I think you kind of have these problems, and for me, the only way that Juve are going to come back from this, because it's not just in this game. Like I've watched Juve a couple more, I've been watching them since like Pirlo took over, and it's he doesn't understand the tactics. He doesn't like understand the players, and I just think that he's struggling in a big team, and he's drowning with sharks swimming around him like Lampard was, and he can't swim, and he's struggling to get to the side. He just wants to get to the side so he can get out the pool, and he can't get to the stairs, and he's trying and he's trying and he's trying, and it's not happening. But as just to clarify, as a footballer, he's still the greatest of all time for me, one of the greatest, and I think Porto really will take it.
Yeah, they got Eleanor in the chat. She says, hey,
yes, Eleanor.
Do you know what it is? Like, I just think with Cristiano Ronaldo, he likes to turn up in big games. So I can see him having some masterclass, unfortunately, and going through. Obviously, out of the two, I'd rather play Porto. We played Porto last season. So we're more aware of what the team are than if we come up against Juventus. So if we are going to go far in this competition, I'd rather the better teams get knocked out. That being said, City overthink smaller teams. So maybe we're better off playing the big ones. I don't know. But I think I can't see Juventus going out as much as I would like to see it. I just can't see it, unfortunately. I don't know. But we'll have to see, obviously. Anything is possible, but I just think Ronaldo played so poorly in that first game.
Yeah.
He has to play better. And if he plays better, I think they win.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. The next game...
Are we going to talk about the Liverpool game?
Yeah.
I have some controversial opinions on that.
Okay, well, we'll go to Liverpool then. So Liverpool 2, Leipzig 0. I think they were away. Were they at Anfield? Can't remember. I think they were away, weren't they? Don't even know. But yeah, 2-0. They're 2-0 up anyway. So yeah, what's your controversial opinions?
Leipzig are going to win.
Okay.
And you know what? Like, let's be realistic. Nagelsmann made a mistake. He played a high line against Liverpool. That's stupid. Yeah. Rule 101, you never play a high line against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, if he learns from his mistake, I think Leipzig have a chance to get 2 goals back. Now, if that's the case, that's 2 away goals for Leipzig, which means one thing. It's a draw. All it takes is for Leipzig to get another goal, and it's game over. I'm sorry, bye Liverpool. I'll see you next year. Like, I'm sorry. Because I think if Nagelsmann changes up the formation and he doesn't play a high line, I think Leipzig have been challenging people in their league. Like, they haven't been playing games. Like, I'm pretty sure they've beaten Dortmund. Like, I think they have. I'm not too sure. It's like Dortmund are one of the top 3 teams, but they've beaten them. Like, they're up there as well. Like, they're performing well. They're a decent team. Like, all it needs is for Nagelsmann not to play a high line. Now, I'm praying he does not play a high line. So then Liverpool can be like, angry Klopp, bye. So my vote is for Leipzig.
Fair enough. I actually think with that, like, it could go. Like I say, 2-0. Like, I know for City, people are saying City are through, but 2-0 is one of them scorelines where if you concede an early goal, it can change very quickly. Especially if you're at home as well, because they're getting away goals. And obviously, if it ends in sort of them getting more goals than you, they might go through on away goals. So it's always a little bit more dangerous, especially without fans, because you don't really have that home advantage that you'd get in a stadium for fans. So yeah,
and Anfield's not that scary. Anfield is not that scary anymore. Anfield is not scary anymore. We've seen Brighton, we've seen Burnley, we've even enjoyed watching Man City, who and Everton. Everton haven't beaten them since 1999. They hadn't beaten them in the 21st century, and they've beaten them. Like City hadn't done it since Phil Foden was 2 years old. Like I've never enjoyed Anfield more. You know, and you know what? Like, I'm really enjoying it. Like, if Anfield can just keep it up to like we turn up, like me and Joyce are going to be loving life, aren't we, Joyce?
Oh yeah, hope.
But you know what? I feel like Liverpool are going to see playing Chelsea and then turn up after us, because that's what Arsenal did and that's what City did. And no, is it not City? Who else? Oh, there's just been so many teams that decided to turn up after us, and I'm like, you know.
What do you think, Joyce? Do you think Leipzig will go through, or do you think it'll be Liverpool?
I know I didn't see the game because it was the same time as Mbappe, PSG and that. But I do think that Liverpool, despite their I think especially knowing that, you know, like the league is out of their hands pretty much now, they're gonna want to go and fight for the Champions League, because that's something that is still an option. Like knockout football is like we've been saying, is really unpredictable. And they still have quality in their team. Maybe not really performing too great, but it's still there. So yeah, I mean, especially with a 2-0 lead, I think they'll try to protect that, and they probably will.
Yeah, I think I'd say with Liverpool, like one, they always tend to turn up in the Champions League, even if they're terrible in the league. They tend to turn up. Also, what they have in their favour is that they've actually not been the worst defensively this season. It's been more they're struggling to score at the other end. That's why I think the only way they would go out is if Leipzig do what they did against Man United and get like 2 early goals, and then Liverpool, they're back in it. They have all the momentum. Liverpool might not be able to score, but I can't really see Liverpool getting kicked out at this stage.
Do you know what the problem was? In the last game when they played, is that the main problem in that game was Leipzig played a high line. That was it. That was the main problem. Now, if you take a great team like Leipzig and you don't play a high line, what happens then? And I know it's a what if, but the what if is right now, who's like Liverpool aren't as good as Dortmund, let's be realistically, and they've beaten them. So they could beat Liverpool. Like, it's not that hard. Like, you've seen Leipzig get 3 or 4 goals in a game. So they could, and I really would enjoy that. I think everybody on this panel would enjoy Liverpool going out.
I think they're definitely a lot weaker without Alisson as well. And obviously Alisson, I can't see him being in the mental mind space after what's happened to play. So depending on who comes in as well, you know, that's the only sort of thing that I can see where they could go out. Henderson's out for a bit as well. Yeah, I think the injuries that they've got are just getting worse and worse. So I still think they'll go.
I'm kind of not complaining
about Liverpool in Europe, but they're the opposite of City. Like City, like you go into Europe thinking we should win this, and then we go out. Whereas Liverpool, you go into a game thinking they should go out and they win it. Like they're actually the opposite of Man City. So yeah, I'd love to see it, but I can't, unfortunately. And like you say, with the league kind of very, very, very unlikely to be going to Anfield, they might not even finish top 4. And if they don't finish top 4, they have to win the Champions League to
They're
get
not finishing top 4. They're not finishing top 4. They're joining Europa League. I've said this for so long now, and people have come at me. I remember Joyce like looking at me like, Shah, what are you saying when I first said that? I'm telling you. Yeah, no, it you and Lambs both went, and then you were like, I was like, just let me explain. Like, but for me personally, like, how long can we say that Liverpool are going to turn up for before they don't? Like, for me, I think Europa League would be a wake-up call for them. You can't just win the Premier League and then be the absolute world's shittest champions. Like, you've not even been. It's just after this 7-2, we should have known they were just going to be the world's shittest title defense goes to Liverpool. If they're going to win any award this year or any trophy, it's going to be world's shittest title defense.
That might go twice. Can't even lie.
I mean, you can't even call it a title defense, to be fair.
I think I was surprised that, because I thought Liverpool wouldn't go back to back, because it's very hard to go back to back, and City struggled with a squad as big as ours, so I knew they would struggle. I didn't think they'd win it, but when they were kind of still top of the league with all their injuries at the beginning, I was kind of like, oh, maybe they will win it, because like City didn't look up for it at that time, and I just thought maybe at that time I thought maybe they are going to go back to back. But then obviously now we're seeing the long-term effects of injuries and stuff like that. But they have been very unlucky. But at the same time, like, everyone was telling Liverpool fans for the past few seasons, if you get injuries, you will struggle. And they were saying, no, it's Klopp. We've got a system. We're the best team in the league, all of this stuff. And now it's like it's coming back to them now, and then they're saying, well, we've got injuries. But it's like, yeah, but last season when Man City had injuries, okay, yeah, we've got a bigger squad. Everyone was saying, well, you should be winning anyway. Like, you should have an excuse. Do you know what I mean? So it's like Chelsea this season. Like, you'll probably get fans saying to you, well, you spent this money, you should be winning. So it's kind of, for me, I don't have the sympathy for Liverpool that some fans have, because I just think this was an issue that you could foresee. Like, you could foresee that they were going to get injuries. Yeah, not as many. But Van Dijk staying fit, playing at that level, week in, week out, every single game, was unlikely. We've seen it with Vincent Kompany. Vincent Kompany played at the top level for, 2012, 2013. By 2014, 2015, he could only get in the squad for a few games because he was basically... the injuries started kicking in. So,
but I believe, like, you can't blame injuries. Like, I've seen some Liverpool fans be like, oh, we haven't got Jota, we haven't got Virgil van Dijk. And what? I'm still waiting for good excuses as to why Liverpool. It's not even a title defense. I can't even call it a title defense. When your champions lose 7-2 in one of their first games, that's not a title defense. That's an absolute shit show. That's like, spilling oil on the road and driving a car down a hill. It's not going to end very well. It really isn't. Like, let me tell you, it is not. Like, and like every time like Chelsea get injuries, like people come at us like, you can't blame it on your injuries. Like, the only good thing about Liverpool is that they're seeing how shit a lot of their players are. Like, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the most overhyped, overrated player ever. He's so shit. Like, I'm so glad people are seeing that now. Like, he's not going to be like the greatest of all time, like everyone expects. Like, I'm glad people are seeing that. I think Liverpool are having a reality check, and it's on their behest, but everyone else's enjoyment. This is the only thing that every fan comes together for. Liverpool failing. Every team enjoys it. Like, every team can agree, no matter how much they don't want to, every team agrees they love to see Liverpool fail. And I'm not even going to lie, I can't wait to see Liverpool play Wolfsberger in the Europa League. I can't wait. Or maybe play Benfica. Yeah, I'm gonna see that. Liverpool versus Benfica. I'm gonna see that. Yeah, enjoy that, Liverpool.
Oh, good. Do you know what I think? Like, I think people would have a lot more, not like sympathy for it, because people still have sympathy for them. But I think it's a thing where it's like, because last season they won the league, and yes, they were fantastic for two seasons. They say 3 seasons, but hasn't been 3 seasons, because when we got 100 points, they got 20. They were 25 points off us in 4th place or something like that. So it's been 2 seasons, and basically, in the seasons that they had, they were fantastic. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like now, then like when they did that, it was like we're the best team ever. We're better than Man City. We've been at this level longer, and all these kind of comments have now made when they've fallen off a little bit. People don't feel sorry for them because they said they're the best team ever. You know, if Man City came out now and said we're the best team in the Champions League, and then they go out, everyone laughs because they'll say you said you were the best team in the Champions League and now you're out. So I think if the fans didn't overhype them, I feel like they'd be getting a lot more sympathy now. I think people would be saying like, okay, the injuries have affected you, blah, blah, blah. But because they said we're the best team ever, Klopp's the best manager ever, he can make anyone look good. Now I'm hearing he can't make these players look good right now. So
look good. Good is being generous right now. Good is being really, really generous. Like good is an understatement. Shit, diabolical, like absolutely destructive, disastrous. Like any of those words I will use, but I can't be using the word good. Diabolical, disastrous, a ticking time bomb. I don't know, but shit is the word I use.
But anyway, big up to Joyce because she's got to go now. Before you go, just shout out where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm ELJoyce_ on Twitter. What's the other one? Oh, Twitter, Instagram, and Clubhouse. I'm on GNA TV on a Friday, usually at 8, and on Gold Diggers from time to time. And then also here, but I'm going on a bit of a streaming break, but I will be you guys back next month.
Yeah, good luck.
Bye, Joyce. Good luck.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know.
It's all right. I'll do it for her, bless her. But yeah, we'll move on to the other games. So there's Lazio 1, Bayern Munich 4. I think this is the least surprising result in the whole competition. Like, I think they were out before the game even started, to be honest. Like, that's what I said.
Was it Prime? Prime said to me, and I believe, don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure it's about Lazio. Prime said to me that Lazio are going to get 6 away goals. Can we just clarify that now? I'm dying. Like, I thought he meant like, he was like, no, 6 goals. I think it was about Lazio anyway. But yeah, no, I think Lazio are done for me personally. I don't see a comeback. When you got a team against, but when you go against Bayern Munich, like you know that there's a dead end. You know that like it's game over. I don't think that team. Lazio didn't really stand like getting a goal back. I'm impressed. Like I'm impressed they got a goal back. To be honest, like that's their consolation prize. That's like when you was at a kids' party when you was younger and you used to play pass the parcel and you used to let like a consolation lollipop for like playing the game. And that's what their goal is like. A lollipop to be like, you took part, but you didn't win. No, they're done.
Do you know what it is with it as well? Because like we've had times like when we were new to the Champions League and our squad wasn't what it was now, and like we'd go up against the best teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid and stuff. Like we never got battered. It was 3-0 in the first half. Like Man City have never been 3-0 down, even against a fantastic Barcelona team, even against a fantastic Real Madrid team. Like I just think when I saw like the score early on, I was thinking, how do you concede 3 away goals in like the first half? Like, it's just madness. And I think the closest that we've got to that was when we played Monaco, but we weren't 3-0 down. It was very end to end, and I think we conceded 3 goals quite early on. But I think it wasn't 3-0. I think it was like 3-1 or something, and then we came back 5-2. But like I just think it's one of them things. Like they weren't in the game for long. Put it that way.
Yeah, agreed.
Because what they needed to do realistically is get a draw at home, and then go to Bayern and try and get an away goal or outscore them or get a draw, you know, and take it to extra time because Bayern the players out as well. So I don't know. I just think this tie was over before it even began, to be honest, because there's just no way Bayern Munich not beating Latvia. Like, I expected them to put a bit more of a fight though. I thought they'd at least like keep it 0-0 till, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then maybe they get a goal for half time and then tie it up, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Run away with it in the second half, but didn't do anything really. But I don't know why Prime thought that Lazio were going to go through. I actually agree with part of what he said. Like, I don't think Bayern Munich will retain it just because a lot of teams don't retain it.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go anytime soon. They'll go out in like the semi-finals or, you know, they might lose in the final. They're not going to go out like at some early stage. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. The last game that we've got is that it? That might be it actually. No, Real Madrid and Atalanta. So Atalanta got a red card reasonably early on.
I'm fuming.
It was 0-0 until very late.
Do you know what? If Atalanta hadn't have got the red card, it would have been 0-0. Fact. I don't even want people coming for me. It would have been 0-0. Like, we wouldn't be having this discussion. I think that Atalanta played. They gave it their best and they kept him, but I think the second leg is going to be very different because they're going to have 11 men starting again. They're going to have 11 men starting, and they're going to be able to have like their own game, and I think they might give Real Madrid a run for their money. Like, Real Madrid haven't been on form at the minute. Like, they're piss poor. I'm not even gonna like candy coat it like or sugar coat it. They have been piss poor. They have turned Hazard into a joke. They have ruined my favourite player with injuries and Burger King. But yeah, no, I can see I've said that Atalanta were going to win, so I'm going to stick to my decision and say that Atalanta are going to make a comeback. It is only 1-0, so it's not that big of a difference. Yeah,
I think I did think that Real Madrid would go through just because they've got that like Liverpool where in the Champions League they just managed to get over the line even when you think they're not, and they've had a lot of close chances in this Champions League so far, and I don't think it's going to last much longer. Obviously, they've very almost gone out in the group stages. They just scraped through Benzema. And then now it's like, again, they've got players out now, to be fair to them, but they've just scraped through again the first leg. Atalanta won't be happy because they'll feel like if they had 10 men, if they had 11 men, I'm sure they would feel that they would have won that game or at least drawn it. Obviously, conceding late ones hurt. So I'd expect them to come out fighting in the next round, in the next leg. I would expect that. So yeah, we'll have to see. But I just think with Real Madrid, they're one of them Champions League teams where until I see it with my eyes that they're out, I'll be like, I just don't know. Big up CJ Sav. Says, big up Jan and Charlotte. How you both doing? I'm good. How are you, Charlotte?
Yeah, good. I'm good. Well, I mean, I'm great. Chelsea won. Like, some teams are good at winning, you know.
Well,
unlike Juventus.
We'll move on to the Europa League now. Obviously, not going to touch on it too much, but we'll start with the Premier League side. So obviously, Man United smashed them out the park in the first leg, 4-0. I didn't watch the game tonight, but I seen that it was 0-0. So I'm assuming.
I feel like United didn't actually. United just went in first leg. They were like, yeah, just bang all the goals.
Yeah.
And the second leg, they were like, we don't even need to do anything. To be fair, it was a good game. Like, it wasn't like Man United didn't play well. For me personally, they didn't. But I just, I mean, they didn't have to do anything. It was 4-1. Like, what do you need to do? Like, what did you need to do? Like they didn't need to do anything. So yeah, if that was me, and also they play us on Sunday. They have less time. We have like, hold on. We have 5 days. Hold on. They have 3 days. Sorry, my maths is not that great at the minute. Yeah, we have 5 days to recover, and they only have 3. So I think it's going to be interesting because they haven't got kicked out, which means neither team has something to kind of, when like you lose, you've got something to gain in the next match. We've both kind of done our jobs, so I feel like I don't know if it's going to be another overhyped game, which I've said a draw is probably going to happen. Would I like to see a 2-1 victory against Man United? Absolutely. I have so many Man United friends that I want to absolutely stab in the heart, being like, sucker, your team sucks. You're second and you can be like, they've given us so much stick for the Lampard shit. They've given us stick for everything else. So I am ready to give Man United fans stick and hold something over their head. Yeah, no, they did it. They had a decent game. They didn't actually need to get a goal. So I feel like having a decent game and defending. Yes, we did win, and I think we might draw. I think it's like one of those hyped games. When like it's so hyped, it just turns out so dead.
I think with that game, like, you can't afford to lose it. United can't afford to lose it. So it's one of them games. It's overhyped for the beginning because everyone's expecting this massive game. It happened with Arsenal and United. It was the same thing. It was like Arsenal wouldn't want to lose.
I would take a penalty for 1-0 Chelsea. I would fucking take that. Like, we have a chance. Like, this is how I look at it. And I think, I don't know if a lot of Chelsea fans do, but how I look at it is that we have a chance to steal 3 points from United. Yeah. That, for me, is an opportunity we should be taking.
Oh, yeah.
We have to win. It's like, I see a draw because it's just one of those overhyped games.
Yeah.
And that's not me being a dick. Like, it's just everyone overhypes these kind of games, and I'm not overhyping them anymore. Like, I believe that's it. But I just like
a lot of the big games have been a draw, though, haven't they? Like most.
I would like to not see like a dead ass game, but I just have a gut feeling it will. Would I like to see a win? Absolutely. Do I think that's going to happen? I'm not too sure. We might just defend our life away. So I think it really depends, to be honest. I think you have to kind of look at the bigger picture before you just jump to conclusion that like we can't have like, because I don't think we can't lose. Like, that's out of the question. I would rather take 3 points than just the 1 point for me.
Yeah, I think I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. But yeah, I think United are going to need to win if they want to stay where they are in the table, because Leicester are on the same point. So there's a lot at stake, you see. So that's why I mean. Because you both can't afford to lose. Because if United lose and Leicester win, they go 3 points above Man United. So I don't think they can afford to lose either. So yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, Chelsea are going to be going for that sort of second spot now, highest. So yeah, I can see Chelsea going all out to win, especially after that Atletico win. They're going to be obviously.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen the way we can perform. So if they don't turn up in the Man U game, I feel like I'm going to be fuming, like actually fuming, because we've seen that Chelsea can actually we got a goal. Like, I'm not saying it was all us. I'm not saying we got a goal. It was a beautiful bicycle kick. I'm taking credit for that. Giroud's taking credit for that. But we defended well as well. Our midfield was strong. We have Jorginho in this match. Fucking use him. Like, he's not going to be used in the Champions League, so we might as well use him and Mount now because they're no use to us. And we have to remember that we have Man U on Sunday, and then we have Liverpool on Thursday. I'm not even impressed. I'm not even impressed. Like, I'm like ready to ring up the bosses that changed the match and be like, "Oi, have you got a Chelsea agenda? Let me tell you, I don't like you. Do you know who our boss is? Roman Abramovich. He could get a hit out on you. He could get a hit out on you."
Yeah, it's mad the way they do it. Like, I was looking at Leicester's fixtures. We'll touch on, obviously, Leicester in a sec, but their last 3 games is Chelsea, United, and Spurs. That's their 3. I think it's United first, then Chelsea, then Spurs. Like, that's quite harsh for a team that are usually fighting for top 4 in the last game of the season. Like, just a little bit harsh for them, because it's like, even if they do really well, the last 3 games of the season, it's all on that, and it's a little bit harsh. And this is why, like, people are saying, "Oh, if City don't win the league," like, I think Leicester have been in better form than Man United overall in terms of the way they've played, considering they've had injuries and stuff like that.
I agree.
But I think at the same time, like, they've got a lot of their hard fixtures to come. So I think we'll find out, obviously, soon if they're going to stay where they are or if they're going to slide down the table like they have done in previous seasons. Personally, I think this season they should have learned from what their mistakes were. So I'm expecting to see them sort of go, at least get top 4, probably finish high, like in terms of second or third. I can see that from them. But yeah, we'll have to see. But you know what it is? Like, obviously, Man United are through now. Europa League, that's fine. Leicester actually went out. They went out to Slavia Praha. They went out.
Do you know what? Slavia Prague aren't a bad team, but I didn't expect this from Leicester. I really didn't. Like, City aren't feeling the pressure, Bobs. Like, they're like they're over 10 points behind you. Like, pipe down high. Like, come on. I feel like that I was really shocked because I thought Leicester would come out fighting. It's there's 2 opportunities to win a kind of title. I think they really disappointed me. The game was. I think they're really missing the fact that they've got so many injuries at the minute, and it's really hitting them hard, and they're struggling. But when I say injuries, unlike Liverpool, it's not like 2 players. They have like an injury pandemic. Now, if you're comparing Liverpool to Leicester, Liverpool should take some knowledge on Leicester and realise what an injury pandemic is. It's not 2 players. It's like nearly the whole squad, like the midfield, the defence, like your really important players, like, God help if Jamie Vardy gets injured as well. Like, that's just disastrous.
Do you know what? Like, it's interesting because I had an argument with some Liverpool fans yesterday because they were saying to me, like, because I said, well, Leicester have got loads of injuries, and then obviously they're trying to compare Liverpool to Man City, and I'm like, that's not the point I was making. I'm not saying Man City. If Man City get 5 injuries, we're not going to be as affected as Liverpool getting 5 injuries, simply because our squad is bigger and we have squad depth. But Leicester don't have squad depth like Liverpool, so they're more similar to Liverpool in that they when they have a few players out, they struggle a lot more, and that's the thing. Like, I think people want to give Liverpool a lot of excuses, but when it's Leicester, it's kind of like, oh well, they should deal with it. And the point I was making is just hold them to the same standards. If 2 teams have injuries, and the thing is, like, what was annoying me about it is Klopp was comparing his team to City, but what I was saying is, fair enough, Man City are above Liverpool, but there's other teams above Liverpool as well. It's not just City. If it's just City, yes, compare us and say City are in because of blah blah blah. Whereas that's not the issue here. Do you know what I mean? We're not the issue. We're not why Liverpool are sick in the table.
I get if he said. I guess if he said City, United, Leicester, West Ham, Chelsea. Sorry, I was just naming all these teams that are above Liverpool. My bad. That was a long list, like a long list. Like even West Ham are above you. Chelsea are above you. Chelsea have gone from 9th to 5th. Like in 5 games. Maybe Liverpool need to take a look out of our book because, like, maybe you need a new manager. I don't know, Klopp's. I'm not dissing Klopp, but Klopp has. If you look at how he was before, like he does have this kind of pattern. He does a period of time. The last season he has is absolutely diabolical, like absolutely awful, and then he gets sacked. And I can see it kind of being a downward spiral. I think if this continues into the next season, I think by the beginning of October he will no longer have a job. What? I
don't think they'll sack him though. I think what will happen is a lot of Liverpool fans are saying like the problem is with Liverpool as well is this was like I said earlier, this is something that every other fan and every Liverpool fan, to be honest, that I've spoken to could see coming. They could see that if they got a few injuries, their system wouldn't be as successful and they'd struggle. The problem that Liverpool have got is not only have they got them few injuries that they predicted, they've got a heap of other injuries. But there's things that, there's mistakes that Klopp's made this season that we can talk about. So
I think if you're gonna, I think the problem is that Liverpool are willing to wait 30 years to win a Premier League. Other teams aren't. And if you look at the difference, like Liverpool allowed, like how long's Klopp been at Liverpool? Like a few seasons. 5-6 years. Like I'm saying, like this is my problem. Like Liverpool. Like, and the people that own Liverpool, like the board and that, are willing to allow Liverpool to wait 30 years to win a Premier League. Chelsea aren't. Chelsea have a winning mentality. We have a different mentality to Liverpool. And I'm not being horrible. Like, good on Liverpool for finally winning the Premier League. But finally is the word I'm using.
Yeah.
With Chelsea, when we win the Premier League, it won't be finally. Like, that's my point. I think that's my problem is that you keep saying finally, but the mentality is that our system wasn't working. We weren't going to get Champions League. We weren't going to win anything. Like we weren't going to do anything. We were probably not even going to make Europa League, and we changed that. I think Liverpool eventually have to do that. You have to make those hard decisions. Yes, Klopp has been a genius. He's done wonders, but your team's been found out. You've become champions, and you just have. I mean, I don't even think I can call them champions. I've started calling City champions now. Like, this is my point. Like, I can't call Liverpool champions if you don't act like champions. At least with City, they acted like champions, or they tried their bloody hardest. Liverpool don't even look like they're trying. Like, it just looks dead. Like, they literally, like, I just want to, like, sometimes I just want to grab these players and shake them and be like, what is wrong with you? Like you can't use all these. And you have Salah, Firmino and Mane. And there's no excuse there for me. For me, there's no excuse there. Like, it's not like you don't have good defense players. You don't have midfielders that are like, they don't have the world's shittest players in their midfield and defense. Like, they don't. They're just not turning up. Like, I don't know what's happened to. I always say Alisson has cuddled Kepa, and look what's happened. Like, Kepa's given off his bad juju to like Alisson, and Alisson's like rugby tackling. He's spearing people like he's on WWE. Like, Kabak's rugby tackling people, and I'm like, someone need to tell these people that they're actually playing football, not rugby. Like, I'm sorry.
Do you know what I think, like, as well? I think the problem why people have got on is, one, the form kind of dropped off earlier than people are making out. Even though they were top of the league, it didn't kind of tell the full story. Like the last season, at the end of the season, like City beat them 4-0, and everyone said, oh, it's because they were drunk. They were celebrating the title, they were drunk, even though most of them don't drink because they're either Muslims or teetotalers. But anyway, they said that they were drunk. Then after that, they lost a game or two after that, and everyone was like, oh, it's just because they've got the title wrapped up. You know, they're not bothered about the 100 points. They're only bothered about winning the league, which is fair enough, I suppose. And then, you know, they started this season, then they got beat 7-2. That was with their full squad. That was, you know, they had their key players in that game, and they lost the game. And then when they kind of lost Van Dijk and stuff, obviously they, after that, capitulated a bit. But even then, it's like they beat Crystal Palace 7-0. So it's like, it's the excuses that they're making. Yes, I get the injuries. Nobody can doubt that they've been unlucky. They have been very unlucky. They've been unlucky with things that's going on in outside of football as well. You know what I mean? For the goalkeeper to lose his dad, for Klopp to lose his mum, it's not the best, you know, and the mentality is always going to be a bit affected by that. But at the same time, it's like you say, like, nobody gave them this title of the best champions ever. They kind of gave themselves this title. So now that they're not living up to it, they're always going to get criticism. The same way City went back to back. So when we didn't win it a third time, it was Pep's finish, City are done. And as a manager, you do have to adapt to these situations and change your tactics and maybe change the way you play. And we've seen it with Pep. Pep's done it.
But Klopp has to do that because he's not done that. Can we just talk about this comment here? Indiana decided to start beef here. Who will land Haaland out of Chelsea and City? So firstly, City do not need Haaland. You do not need to be selfish.
We actually do.
No. City are not going to be selfish. They're going to let Chelsea take them. So Chelsea have actually a proper striker because we don't have one right now. And you have quite a few that you're not sharing with us. So, and like,
we'll give you Gabby.
No, thank you. I'll take Haaland. Thank you very much. Like, no. You guys. But my problem is that Pep's adapted like to the situation. Like, look at him now. It's like 18 games unbeaten. Like, you've gone from
19.
19. And my problem is that, like, for me personally, I at the beginning of season always said that City were in the running, but everyone was like, no, City aren't. And now I'm like, But the problem is Klopp has to change his tactics. He's been figured out. People have figured it out. Like, he's not changing his tactics enough, and people are just like, yeah, okay, this is easy. Anfield's not that scary. Like, nothing's that scary. And I don't personally believe that you can blame it on the fans not being there. And Liverpool fans have done that. Now, I know it's different, but look at Man City. Man City are turning up 19 games unbeaten. They're getting goals for fun. Like, that to me shows that you don't need fans. Like, yes, the atmosphere is different, but you can't blame it. Like, Klopp won't. Yes, I know. I think he'll be sacked. I don't think he'll leave. I think he'll be sacked. I think that's my. I don't know. He looks fed up with the team.
What will happen is
he seems to be like getting grey hairs by grey hairs, and I feel like the man every time I see him, like his eye bags get bigger. So I'm like, the man's obviously not sleeping. He's losing his shit.
I feel sorry for him, you know. I think he probably, because I said at the because obviously people were saying Pep might leave at the end of this season, and I was saying like, because his mum died just before the season started. Like, I don't mind if Pep says I need a year off. You know, I've not dealt with my mum dying. I've been so focused. I need a year off. Like, I wouldn't be bothered. As much as I love him, it's like, I would give him that time. And I think Klopp might be a manager that needs that time. Like, you know, I'm not too sure how he is. In terms of Pep, he kind of just got on with it. And I think that was his approach, just carry on and sort of not ignore what's happened, but like just stay focused on other things to kind of get it out your head. And Klopp, I'm not sure. He might be the opposite. He might be someone that needs to go on a break for 6 months, do you know what I mean, to sort himself out. So, yeah, I don't know. Jufe says, we need Haaland. Aguero is leaving. We do. Do you know what? I just don't see him as someone, as much as I want him, he's definitely my number one choice for, you know, our transfer window. I just can't see him coming. I hope that I'm wrong. I really hope that I am. Ooh, let's see some of the other games that we've got. So the other one is obviously Arsenal, who kind of scraped through against Benfica. It was 4-3 to Arsenal overall. I'll just quickly say what I think about this. Obviously, I didn't watch all the games. I kind of watched... Did I watch the first leg? I didn't watch the first leg, and I watched a bit of the second leg. And I think, like, obviously Arsenal got through in the end, but it was tight. Benfica, they have been a decent side, but then they seem to, like, their best players seem to leave. So obviously, like, they had Ruben Diaz in defence, and then he joined Man City, and they swapped him with Otamendi and a little bit of money. Like, just a bit crazy. Like, why would you do that? But I'm glad that they did, because we've got Diaz. But yeah, just a bit of madness. But yeah, Arsenal obviously go through. Depending on who they draw, they might go through again, or they might get kicked out. I don't really know. Yeah, Dupe, yeah. Do you know what? I don't know anything about Martinez at all. Like, I really don't know anything. All that I've heard is that he's like Aguero. That's all that I've heard. I don't actually know who he is. I've heard that Indiana that he's a better fit for City. But I just want a clinical striker. I don't want another striker who has to get 10 chances to score one. I'm not interested. You know, I want them to put it in the back of the net. Let's be honest, De Bruyne puts it on their foot. Cancelo puts it on their foot. Gundogan puts it on their foot. Like, we have a whole bunch of players that create tap-ins, essentially. So, yeah, I don't know. Latore says, DJ Sav says, Latore Martinez will end up at Man City, I think. Haaland to Chelsea, we need him. Striker, Timo can play off next season. We will see the best of Havertz next season and Ziyech too. I agree. I think your new signings will shine next season. It always happens. Yeah. There's only a few players that come in and hit the ground running. Most players take sort of a season to get their feet, and then they run away.
I agree. Like, I just think my problem is that Ziyech has kind of got to the point where, like, it's do or die. Like, what's he done so special in his career? Because I can't think of shit. I'm not being horrible. I'm just stating facts here now. We have Ziyech, who's not really done much. We've got Pulisic, who's so injury prone. I think that's a problem, you know. It's a struggle. I don't really know how to fix that. I mean, I definitely think I'm looking at, like, if by the January this time next year, Pulisic is still dead ass and he's being injured and he's not giving me anything, I think it's time to go.
Fair enough. Indiana thinks that Chelsea need a Sancho more than a striker.
I think we need Haaland and Sancho, so I'm ready for both of them. Apparently, rumor has it is that Roman has got his checkbook out ready for Haaland and Sancho. Now, let me tell you, if there's anyone that is going to beat anybody on money-wise for these strikers, it's bloody Roman Abramovich. The man spent $2 billion on one painting.
Yeah.
$2 billion on one painting, man. Oh.
Yeah, it's yeah. Do you know what? Like, for me, like, I've liked Haaland since I've seen him. Like, I like the way he plays. I like him. I like the fact that he's clinical, the fact that he's young. He's even younger than Foden. So, like, there's a lot of things that I like about him. Obviously, Martinez, I don't know much about him. All I've heard is that he's a bit like a Sergio Aguero, which I wouldn't turn down because obviously Sergio was Sergio. He's Argentinian as well. We like our Argentinians at Man City. So yeah, I could see either or. The only thing that I would say is 3 years in football is a lot of years. Like three seasons is a lot of time. And for someone that's 23 and someone that's 20, even though it doesn't sound that different, like you could potentially get another 3 years out of that player. Like obviously we don't know what's going to happen. Injuries, they could just fall off when they get to a certain age. You don't know. But essentially, like I like the younger the better. But as long as they're proven, which I feel like Haaland, even as young as he is already proven that he's got it. You know, so he's just going to be unreal. Mbappe, I wouldn't turn down either, to be fair. But I
wouldn't. Do you know what? I wouldn't turn down Kane and Son either. I wouldn't turn down Kane and Son if they're up for sale. Someone's just asked me what is my 21-22 realistic dream team for Chelsea. I don't actually think you want to know that because I have a list of players written down of what I want to get rid of. So if you'd like to know, I can list you them players. I want to get rid of Kepa, Mendy, Christensen, Emerson, Alonso, Rudiger, Pulisic, Ziyech, Kante, and Jorginho. Oh, and Werner if he's not turned up either. I mean, I need Sancho. Do you know what? Chelsea have never bought a world-class goalkeeper. We've created Peter Cech. We've made Courtois better. We've never bought a world-class goalkeeper, and I'd like to buy Oblak. I really would. Like for me personally, it's something we need. Like if you have a good goalkeeper, your defense feels better. If you don't have a good goalkeeper, your defense struggles. I'd like to get some decent defense too, you know, like Rudiger giving me that. I'm keeping Thiago Silva though. I'm keeping Thiago Silva. He was free. He was worth his money. He was free. I'm kind of over. I don't. Do you know what? I don't want to get rid of Chelsea Football Club. I also forgot one player. I want to get rid of Tammy Abraham. I want Tammy Abraham to go to Aston Villa. He's a mid-table player, so she can go. Like I need Hudson-Odoi to stay, so I need Tuchel to keep him on side. I need Giroud to stay as well. Like the problem is that if we're looking at the end of this season to kind of look at selling strikers, I want to get rid of Abraham over Giroud and Werner, because like Abraham is more of a mid-table club. He really excelled at Aston Villa in his season, so I feel like he should go back there, just like Ross Barkley's doing. I don't want Ross Barkley back, thank you. I do not. I'm still fuming about Tomori. I want to bring Tomori back. He's the one player we actually need. So I think that would have been like my main concern. I think if we have a chance to bring Tomori back, we need to.
Yeah. I think like, I don't know.
Someone just said get rid of Kante. He's getting on now. Like the man's getting on. Like I don't. I'm not saying at the end of this season, but at the end of next season, I would consider getting rid of him. To be honest, like I don't. I think we need to build a stronger squad, and for me, Kovacic and Jorginho have proved their worth more than Kante this season. And I'm not being a dick. Like I'm just stating facts here. I mean, everyone knows my goalkeeping dream is Oblak. I need him. I want to bring Tomori back. Fikayo Tomori. I think we need him. I think he's so capable, and I think we really, really messed up. We actually need him at the minute. We are struggling. We could have used him.
Yeah. Lampard
has blood on his hands. Sorry, 2 seconds. Let me just sort the dog out.
It's all right. Dupe says, what's my realistic dream team for City 21-22? I actually think City have been building a fantastic squad over the past couple of years. I feel like there's not that much missing from our team. I think the only thing we need to do is learn from our mistakes like we haven't done in the past. Everyone told us we needed to replace Kompany. We didn't do it. It was very obvious last season. This season, we've done it. And basically, we've got a Diaz in who I think is I kind of believe in that phrase, everything happens for a reason, because I think if we try and replace Kompany earlier, we probably get a much older player. We did go in for Van Dijk, who's turning 30 now. We did go in for Maguire, who is, I think, mid to late 20s. So, yeah, I think to wait, we've kind of ended up with a fantastic player who we can have for a long time. So I think we've kind of hit the jackpot with Diaz. He already looks so good. I can't see him getting worse. So yeah, I would say a striker. Obviously, we need to replace Aguero. Aguero is not what he was. He can't stay fit. I'd love for him to stay another season. I love Aguero, but if he wants to play elsewhere, he probably needs to leave sometime soon. I think a lot of that depends on if we did get Messi. If we did get Messi, I can't see Aguero leaving when his best friend joins. So I think Aguero stays. That being said, Man City apparently have a policy, kind of, where if you can't play a certain amount of games per season, your contract does not get renewed. So
I'm
both.
sorry. Yeah. Did you just? I was dreaming. I thought you just said you wanted Messi. No. Capital no. No. All I want to say is stop right there. Thank you very much. You don't need Messi. I'm sorry. I don't need him. You don't need him. So please back off.
Bad thing.
Do you know what? Give someone else a chance. Like
City
need to be selfless.
You know what it is? It's like you say about Roman, like our owners, like they love football. So it's not just about City, like they actually, I don't know if they watch football religiously, but they love football. So they want the best. Since they've come, they've wanted the best players. Like very early on in Man City's takeover, they went for Kaká. And it's not because it was realistic, it was unrealistic. But if you don't know, if you don't try, you won't know. And they went for Kaká, who was ridiculous at the time on paper. But they want
Messi, man. Your team's already behaving like your team is already getting goals for fun. I don't need Messi adding to that. I don't need my struggles to be edged on anymore. I really don't. Can we just chill that for like whoa. Like, no. Let me hear you. Messi, if you're watching this right now, do not go to City. I swear to God, I'm gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Done.
You know what it is though, like with Messi, like I don't know, like the club have said that they're not interested in Messi. Messi said that he's not going to City pretty much. Well, Messi's representative. So I don't know. It's just one of them things that he's been linked with City since Pep came. He's been linked with City. And it's never gone away. Even when he said, I'm staying at Barcelona, the next season it'd be, could we get Messi? So it's always been like that. I think Messi takes us to a different level as a club. Like, it's almost like, you know, when people say if you win the Champions League, you go up a level. It's kind of like getting a player like Messi to come to Man City. Like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And even if he came and didn't play a game, he's still a big deal. Like, so yeah, if you can get Messi, you get Messi. But whether it'll happen or not, I don't know. I think City have said that they need to prioritize a striker this season. But then I'm hearing that Pep doesn't particularly want a striker. So I really don't know. I don't know who we're going to get. I would like Haaland. Obviously, I've wanted Haaland for a while. So I would still want him. But yeah, I just don't know. I can't see Haaland at Man City as much as I want him. I just can't see it. So I think we will get like a Martinez. I think we'll get someone else. I don't think we will get the obvious choice in Haaland. I don't think we'll get him. But it'd be nice to see him come. You know, he has been an admirer of City. I know people say, oh, he supports Liverpool, he supports all this, that, the other. You know, apparently he supports Leeds because his dad was at Leeds when he was born. And then I think he went to Man City after. And yeah, so it's one of them things where he's got links to Man City.
No, I agree. I just
really important in a transfer.
I don't need City struggling like I don't need to be struggling against City any more than I need to be, you know. Like, you guys are getting goals for fun. It's not even a game anymore. I'm not even playing this. Like, I'm telling you now, if Messi goes to City, I'm gonna haunt every single City person. Like, let me tell you now. I'm telling you no. I don't want. Do you know what? I get the City fans wanting Messi. I think everybody wants Messi.
Yeah.
I'm not even disputing that. But if any team's going to get him, it bloody better not be City. Because let me tell you now, they do not need him. How many players are good? 19 run just getting goals for fun. Your goalkeeper wants to take part in getting goals for fun. Your defense has probably got more goals, you know. I don't need this. Like, please stop. Like, stressing me. I'm gonna have grey hairs by the end of this. Let me tell you that one now. Like, I am. But no, I mean, I think I accept that everyone wants Messi, but not to City. Thank you very much. Game over.
Yeah, Juve says we probably need a left back. We haven't had a left back in a while. Obviously, we bought Mendy. He got injured. He's not quite worked out. I still think Mendy's a great player. It's just he's not getting
so why don't you focus on your left back and your CDM and your striker, and you just focus on not getting Messi or Haaland, and you just carry on trying to find your left back and your SDM, your CDM, please. Thank you.
I'm hoping we get Messi and Haaland, because honestly, if we get them, I'm having a party. I'm actually having a party. Like,
I genuinely. Now, I'm not even playing that. Like, I will quit this shit if that happens. I'm quitting this shit. I don't even want to see. Like, when a Chelsea Man City watch along. Fuck no. Sorry, no thank you. I'm drowning me sorrows with the vodka. Actually, no, it's the tequila. I've gone from like wine to tequila in the state of like a season. No, thank you. I don't need this. Thank you. Like, no.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. It's just
even look, he says if we get see, thank you for agreeing.
It would be unfair because you know what it is with City, like the only way people can beat City is by either we have a bad day and we don't score.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens if we've got Haaland. With the players we've got around him, there's not going to be a day where he can't get a goal. And even if he can't get a goal, someone else will step up. It happens all the time at City. So, yeah, I think it's one of them things. Slens, we're not turning it into a Farmers League.
City are quickly turning.
You know what, though? It's interesting because it's like this transfer window will be interesting because everyone's kind of going for these big players. And we're going to see you know, who gets who. It might be that Chelsea get Haaland because I just don't see him at City. I don't see Pep going and saying, I want Haaland. I just don't see it.
Do you know what the problem I have is that I think obviously with Sancho and Haaland, Man United and a few other teams have been like linked with him. But I think the problem is that Man U, I don't think are willing to spend that much money. My problem is that like Roman will open a checkbook, write you a blank check, say how much you want, and he'll just pay it. Yeah. Like this is the difference. Like my manager wants to win. He already knows there's problems in our striking. Like our final third is a bloody issue at the minute. Pisses me right off. Like we just can't finish. Like when I say we, I mean everyone else but Olivier Giroud can't finish. Like Olivier Giroud proved against a world-class goalkeeper that he can. I just think that Chelsea have more of a chance. Like we have youngsters like Mount, Abraham, Hudson-Odoi. Sancho's really good friends with Abraham and Hudson-Odoi. I think that might sway in our favour a little bit. I just think that we are capable of getting both of them. And if we're going for both of them, I'd like a left back. I'd like just a shitload more defence. Scary thing that City teams at the dominance of completely ended.
You know what? This is the thing. City are building.
Stop this man. Stop this
Our
man.
owners are actually building, because different clubs have different setups, like you say about Liverpool and stuff, where their owners would probably take them sort of going 20 years without a title and think, oh, well, we're making money still. You know, we're still a big club. Like, that's the way they'll see it, literally. But it's like, with City, like, they're building something different. And this is why when everyone's laughing at City going, when the oil money runs out, one, it ain't going to run out. The only way oil money will run out is if cars get taken completely off the road. Not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So it ain't going to run out. Plus, they're making their own money from football. So, just the money isn't going to run out. That's that simple.
But that's my problem. I think when you have owners, and this is the problem I have, is that, like, Roman Abramovich spends loads and people like comment on it like, oh, he spent this much and what have your players done? But our players haven't done that much. That's a cool story. Thiago Silva's probably been one of our best buys this season. And he wasn't even a buy. We got him for free. Yeah. But the problem is that our owner is willing to cut managers no matter what.
Yeah.
Our owner is winning. He's willing to buy more players at the end of this season, like in the next transfer window. Like, this is my point. Like, I'm not saying it's about the money. It's about the mentality.
Yeah.
We like, this is my point. Roman's mentality is winning, and I like this. And everyone like comments on it like, oh, like all this, like you've gone through so many managers. That's cool. At least I know my manager has an absolute winning mentality and doesn't give a shit. And if the board he doesn't listen to the board, he'll just make them decisions. Like, this is my point. Like, you have like Man United, like they have a chance to buy loads of players. Are they probably going to? No. Like, I mean, their last big player was Harry Maguire for 80 million. Like,
Do you know what it is as well? It's like, because everyone talks about money and stuff, but you need a few things. You need the mentality that like a City and a Chelsea have, where the owner wants to win. So it's not just the club, it's the owner wants to win, and he will put the best resources in front of them. It's like these people that want their kid to succeed. So they'll do extra tuition with the kid. They'll take the kid to, I don't know, trips that are going to enhance their learning. They'll buy books. They'll do their homework with them. Like, they'll put everything in place for their child to succeed. And it's the same with these football managers, like these football owners. Like, they put the manager in place, the best manager. Like with Chelsea, if the manager's not doing what they want, they're gone. There's none of that, oh, well, I like them as a person. Doesn't matter. You're not doing what you need to do. The players, if they're not doing what they need to do, you're out. Like, you don't need to keep players just because, oh, I like them as a person. Yeah, they're nice people. But if they're not working for you, they need to go. Do you know what I mean? And
that's my point. Like, you need owners. You need a board. You need an owner that wants to win. You also need a board that wants to win.
Yeah.
And a lot of these teams have owners with money, but they don't have boards that like give a shit. I don't mean that in a horrible way, but they just don't like.
It's all about money.
Like,
look
at Arsenal, look at Spurs, look at Man United. Like, and I'm not saying anything bad about Man United team right now, but look at their board. The board is a different story. Like, for me personally, like, Ed Woodward needs to go. Bye.
Do you know what it is as well? Like, with their owners, is like, I said it last night on our stream. Like, everyone brags about how Liverpool and Man United are a massive club, right? And they brag about it. And the thing is, fair enough, it's great that you're a big club. The problem you've got, though, is because you're a big club, you make a hell of a lot of money. And whilst you're making a hell of a lot of money, these owners don't need to make changes. Like, Man United's owners the other day won the Super Bowl. The amount of money they get from winning the Super Bowl, they don't mind if Man United don't win again for the next 10 years. It's not going to affect them. So, whereas I know our owners don't need money either, but because they're interested in football, they want to see the team that they have win. And you know what? With the Arabs, it's probably a case of I don't want to be embarrassed in front of my friends that my team haven't won. They'll probably sit there at the Sheikh has got like Premier League trophies in his lounge. He probably wants the Champions League one. So he will put what he needs to put in place to get what he wants. And, and not only that, like the thing that I know Roman does it similarly in Chelsea, but literally I like the little details with our owner. It's things like he knew that Man City fans generally are working class. So he made sure that the tickets stay really low. So our season tickets haven't gone up too much. And when they did start going up a little bit, they introduced £250 a season cards for people that can't afford it. So you've got people that pay £250 to watch Man City. Just madness. Like they have stuff like that. And then, they've invested heavily in Manchester. They've made the whole ground around it better. They've given £3 million to Manchester City Council because they didn't like the way the council houses were looking. So they said knock them down and rebuild, and that's what they did. They built a whole housing estate. So around City now, it's actually really pretty. Like it's really nice around there. And things like that, that's important because he could have just come in and been like, City are my priority. Outside of the stadium, I'm not interested. But he didn't do that. And he's someone that doesn't spend a lot of time in Manchester. So it's not like he lives there. He doesn't spend time there. So he's just doing it out the kindness of his heart, if you want to call it that. And he wants to make his club the best club. And by spending money around it, like apparently he wanted to build like a hotel, a casino, and all this stuff on the land. And the council said no, because they said we don't want a casino, which is fair enough. And stuff like that. But he's wanted to do all sorts. He wanted to buy the stadium. They said no, because they're making so much money. So they're not going to want to sell it. And I don't blame them, because if you're getting rent, I think they're getting $4 million a year from City. It's worth keeping it. Do you know what I mean? So, it's just, there's just ways that, clubs are run. And I think people laugh at City, but really, it's just, I don't know, like Slen's talk says about the difference between City and Chelsea is the appointment of Pep. They found the golden ticket and trusted one of the best managers of all time. We do not have the same patience. I think,
you know what?
Run, definitely.
I have a problem with this. Yes, they trusted in Pep. Pep has experience. Like, he's been a manager before. I can't trust in Frank. I'm sorry. Like, you're telling me that I can trust in a manager that, like, has no experience, has been chucked in the deep end. Yes, he did a good job when we couldn't buy transfers when no other manager wanted us. But that's it. Like, it was going awful for us. And if that's not the kind of standard I want. Tuchel, I'll give him the full time for his contract. Like, for me personally, Tuchel is a tactical genius for me. Like, he's very clever when it comes to that. Even in the last, he's showing already that he can bring great. Like, if Lampard had been in charge of the Atletico Madrid game, we would not have won. It would have been like 3-0 to Atletico Madrid, and that's not something I can have. Like, the players want to play for Tuchel now. There was obviously a problem, and I'm not like dissing Lampard as a player, as a football player. He was like, he's the greatest of all time. Like, he's a club legend that will never change. But I mean, he's talking about Carlo. I'm still gutted about Carlo. I didn't want to get rid of Carlo. I didn't want to get rid of Carlo. For me, like, that's a big regret I have, like a big regret Chelsea fans have. Just like, it's like, for me, Sarri was also a regret. I feel like the problem is that, like, he won us Europa League and he still got us top 4, and he still got absolutely bashed. And for me, it was good play as well. Like, it wasn't shit play. We won Europa League. We got Champions League. We got top 4. Like, I don't get why people were complaining about Sarri. Like, we didn't give him a chance, and I was willing to give him a chance. Like, when a manager comes in, I know that he's been chosen by Roman for a reason, and that's fair. I believe in my owner. I'm a trust in the process. However, the Lampard bit kind of got to a point where I was like, this is dragging me down. I couldn't really deal with it. The Lampard thing ended in shit, but I mean, for Carlo, I was gutted. Sorry, like, we don't have the patience. I think Tuchel needs that chance to kind of grow. He's had experience. He's dealt with PSG, so we need to give him a chance.
I think with Chelsea, like Man City, this is why I say there's slightly difference in the way that we're run, because I think sometimes at Chelsea, like some of the times they have been sacked a little bit too soon. I think you do need a bit of patience. Like it would have been very easy for Man City's board to sack Pep last season. After he went out to Lyon, he didn't win the league. Obviously, he did win it back to back, but they could have easily been like, you know what? He didn't win enough for me last season. He's not going to win the Champions League the way he's approaching it tactically. Let's get him out. But, City have a lot of patience. Like, even with players, like, they have patience with players. Like, they're not as rash as Chelsea, I'd say.
Yeah. But I feel like when Carlo was appointed, for me, like, look what he's doing now. Like, we shouldn't have let him go, to be honest. Like, I genuinely, when he was gone, I was gutted because I thought that was our chance. Like, that was a chance that we had and we've just thrown it away. I was fuming, like, for real. I just think it's disappointing because Carlo is a talent, like.
Yeah.
And yes, Lenz is right. Like, for me, I would have kept Carlo. Like, I think. I agree with you. But for me personally, I trust in I agree with him. I didn't want Carlo to go. Like, just the same, I think Sarri should have had a chance.
Yeah.
He had a season and they screwed him over, like, and I didn't like it. It's frustrating.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's just a little bit too quick, because if you give them, there's a balance, because I think certain teams leave the manager too long. I think like with Arsenal, it wasn't working for a while and they kept him, and I think the loyalty aspect, like Pep said it himself, if Pep starts failing at Man City, he will leave. He's not going to stay and be unsuccessful at City. He's not going to do that. So the minute he starts, where he doesn't know what he's doing, or he can't change it, or he has 2 seasons on the bounce where he doesn't win anything. Like Pep said himself that he would leave. So I think it just needs to be the balance. I think Chelsea, obviously Frank's not the right person. He got the job way too early. But I think if you do get a manager, like maybe it's Tuchel, who knows, but if they come in, just give him a bit of time. It might take him 3 years, but in 3 years' time, you might be on a different level. So you just got to kind of wait a little bit and hold out a little bit and see what he does, because Liverpool did that with Klopp and it paid off. City, obviously, with Pep, the first season was tragic, but they had faith in him, and they invested in him, and he went and did what he did. So yeah, we'll see.
I agree.
Before we wrap up, Indiana says thoughts on Patch at PSG.
That's an interesting one, He came in 3 games in and won a trophy, but for me personally, he didn't win. Like, I'm not being horrible. He didn't technically win it. Yes, he's got a trophy to his name, but Tuchel did all the hard work. For me, like, Poch came in for 3 games and what, like, and one of those games won you a trophy. Cool story. I can see him succeeding, like, I really can. I want him to succeed. I think he deserves a trophy, He's waited long enough. Like, look what he did to Spurs with the shittest team in the world, like, or, well, not the shittest team in the world, but, like, their board doesn't want to give him any money. They're stingy as hell. Like, good old Daniel Levy's, like, the stingiest man in the world. I think I don't know how he's going to do, really. I don't. I think time will tell. I hope he succeeds. I really do. I think he deserves it. But I don't I don't see him like kind of lasting the season, to be honest. If they don't get Champions League or they win something, I think they need to win La Ligue or they need to win Champions League. I don't know.
You know what? I actually think PSG is the hardest job to take at the moment, and that simply is because everyone knows Barcelona at the moment aren't as great as they have been. So even though you will still be under pressure if you don't do well there, I think the standards at the moment at Barcelona are not as high as they were. I think the same at a lot of the top clubs around the world, like Man United, Arsenal, these sorts of teams. If you go there, as much as they would like to be in the title race, if they're not, you're not going to get sacked just because of that, as long as you do reasonably well. With PSG are in a similar boat to City, but it's not the same. They have their prime thing is to win the Champions League, because the thing is, if Pep comes in and wins Man City the league, that's seen as an achievement, because the league is the Premier League is not easy to win, So he comes in, he's won that. That's seen as an achievement, and as much as we would like the Champions League, of course we would. He's not a failure if he wins the league. Do you know what I mean? Whereas at PSG, because they win the league pretty much every year, give or take a few, that's not really seen as an achievement to be a PSG manager and win the league. So they have to win the Champions League. Like, that's what their club are after, is what the owners are after, and there's a lot of pressure on them. And I actually think they're favourites. I think they've been to a final now and lost. I think they will go, and eventually they'll win it. Could be this year. But I think it's just one of them things, like, if they don't win it now, like Slen says, it could kind of put a black mark on his CV, simply because that squad, like City, like people are giving Pep slander for not doing well enough in the Champions League, he will get the same stuff if he doesn't, because he's got a fully equipped squad, like Man City, and there's not really, if he can get there with Tottenham, like you said, why is he not getting there with PSG? And
that's my point. I think that's my point, is that he got to a final, a Champions League final with Spurs the way they are, and if he doesn't do it at PSG, he has some incredible. You've got Cardi, Mbappe, Neymar. They're just like three players that I've named, and they're like the biggest players. Like, you've got Moise Kean. I see Everton fans regretting getting rid of Moise Kean because they know they're not getting him back. But I think Poch has a really hard job. I don't know if he can succeed, but I hope he can, for his sake.
I think, I don't know. And we'll have to see, I think, but he's under a lot of pressure. I think it's one of the hardest jobs, because
I agree with you.
There's not many jobs, because even if he came to Man City, even though obviously we would want to win the Champions League, don't get me wrong, it's the pressure's not there from the fans. Like, our fans are not as fussed. The board are quite patient. So he'd have that time to adapt. Whereas I think PSG, like Tuchel, won the league and got sacked. So they're more like a Chelsea in the fact that if you're not doing what they want you to do that season, you're out regardless. So we'll see. He's clearly been brought in to win the Champions League. So we'll see. But we're going to wrap up there, because it's been a long stream and I want to go home to my house. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Big up to everyone who subscribed tonight and supported the show. And we will see you next Thursday. And hopefully we'll have Lambs back on. Joyce is not going to be with us for a few weeks. But we'll hopefully have Lambs back next week as well. So big up to everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Bye, people.